Why is Rigathi Gachagua not very happy after the Nyanza tour? Why is Rigiji not very comfortable with what happened in Nyanza? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by asking you to subscribe to our channel today. Click the notification bell and kindly share our videos. Through that, we are reaching a wider audience. I want to look at this issue very critical. And I think those who follow this channel, I did when I was doing some analysis in the field and some gentlemen. There is a perception that came out during the Nyanza tour. And I know when the Nyanza tour was going on, when Ruto was going to Nyanza, when I was skeptical why Rigiji was going, I felt like because he had been so much against Raila tax, it would not be prudent to go with him to Nyanza. But again, he was there all through the 2 days and he was welcomed. We political observers saw that as a trap to see how Nyanza would behave. If he would be turned down, then Rigathi Gachagua would pick a political narrative to come back and tell Gema. Maybe on his personal mission that could have been there. But after that, Kimani Ngunjiri, the Ngunyiri Wambugu, the Nyeri town member of parliament, took an indirect swipe at UD Mount Kenya team in Rigiji. What he said was that Nyanza schooled different leaders in this country how to lobby for development. Nyanza schooled different regions that President visits on how to lobby for development. This narrative, as when it started there, it was developed further, and then there was another ironical statement that President Ruto should just go to pray in the mountain, aende kanisa, aende aombe huko, but take development to other parts of the country. And I think even the gentleman I was talking to some time in some other analysis just here that I shared, he was also speaking about the same kwamba Ruto aende aombe central, lakini apeleke development in other areas. That narrative was creating this understanding that maybe Mount Kenya doesn't know how to lobby, or have turned to be a praise and worship choir for the president. Now today in Ruiru, this is what Gachagua was saying, and it has really caught my attention because I was even wondering what is it. And of course I know I may apologize before the clip because I know Gachagua has common speeches, and I think that's his personality. It's common speeches and throwing barbs here and there. Let's listen to this here.
Juzi tumekuwa katika Nyanza na wewe na tukapokelewa vizuri kwa sababu huko pia ni Kenya. Sasa wale watu ya Azimio walikuwa nafikiria huko tutakuwa na shida. Hawalali. Ati wakijaribu kushauri wewe ati vile utapanga kazi ya Kenya. Utaenda kanisa huko, utaenda program huko. President William Ruto does not need your advice on where to go for church and where to go for development. He knows this country. In any case, nyinyi mambo ya kanisa msiongee. Mlikuwa mnasema mtafuga makanisa kama mungepata. Kwa hivyo hiyo maneno muachane naye. And we are telling these as mere characters, please don't try to set an agenda for President William Ruto. The agenda for President William Ruto is clear in the Kenya Kwanza plan, and it is anchored on the social contract with the people of Kenya. So msitujaribu kwa kumpatia agenda atianzia huko, atienda kanisa huko, enda maendeleo huko. Kama mtu angesikiza agenda yenu na advice yenu, angesema vile mlizamisha serikali ya handshake. Nyinyi mlikuwa mnatoa advice kwa serikali ya handshake. Mlikuwa mnatengeneza serikali agenda kwa serikali ya handshake. Ilizama haikuzama. Mungetaka rais asikize hiyo watu? Ukisikiza hiyo washauri walikuwa na shauri wale wakaweka yao kwa shimo. Wakaharibu Kenya. Kukakuwa hakuna pesa. Ndio huyu Kawanjiku analia. Barabara imekwama pale Gashie mpaka pale kwa Power kuelekea pale Kihara Gishagi, na imekwama kwa sababu, na nilisema pale Kasarani, tulipofika kwa hii serikali tulikuta hakuna chochote kwa store. Hata panya walipotea kwa sababu hakuna kitu ya kukula. Kwa hivyo watu ya Kiambaa, tunaomba nyinyi msiumize hii kijana Kavanjiko. Rais anatafuta zaidi ya 900 billion kulipa makontrakta ndio warudi kwa barabara.
There is a Twitter user there is one of our subscribers here keep on saying that if we have a price for boring speeches, then we don't need auditions. We can give them directly without auditions, without even elections. We'll always find an automatic winner if we have an award to give boring speakers. So now that was Rigiji, a man who speaks his mind. Whether you like it or not, he will say it as it is, and he will not be economical with his own words, because you know what? Freedom is here. And yeah, freedom is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to interpret Gachagua's statement with some four understandings here. Nyanza reception did not, the good, warm Nyanza reception that the president received did not serve Gachagua's political goal. And to some extent, I think there could be a feeling that Raila is talking with Ruto. We have said that Raila must stay far from Ruto like a plague. Anything of a handshake between Raila and Ruto will destroy Raila. And I say that specifically, the good intentions that Uhuru had, Ruto do not harbor those intentions. His understanding about a handshake is totally different from what the son of Jomo envisioned. But Rigiji seems to think that there could be things happening, and he's not aware. He's not comfortable with it, because is it about development? Were there things that were promised? And like again, if you remember, I think there are some road networks that were spoken about there that were supposed to start. While we have huge road projects, the Mau and the other one that cuts across Nyeri, ingine, is it Mau? Yeah, there is Mau Road and then the Mau Summit. They're different. Those two are huge. They're billion road projects in Mount Kenya that are yet to start. And except the one for Mau Summit, which was rescued by the French government intervention, the Mau Road have had issues. And I think activism has just been killing Uhuru legacy, and that's why it cannot go on. And before Mount Kenya will run, I need to say this. If Mount Kenya is not keen, the person that will make them, or what will make them not to scoop a lot from the Ruto reign, is Rigiji's activism against Uhuru Kenyatta. You know why? Uhuru Kenyatta initiated many projects there. Those projects, some of them installed for one reason or the other. But instead of them being picked and being done, they're being put there as political political messages to remind the region that, this one stalled, that one stalled, that one stalled because it stalled during Uhuru Kenyatta. What they don't know here is in the next 5 years, no one will talk about Uhuru Kenyatta. Those road projects, the leaders will say that Ruto have not done it. And that is why I normally say that much activism against Uhuru, ile Uhuru amefanya, wao ndio wataumia kwa sababu Uhuru alianzisha akaenda. Sasa na wewe ili ufanye, umekuja kupiga lawama. Unaelewa? Wewe ndio wewe sasa unakuja utapata lawama. Because at the end of the day, they're not done. Whether they're not done by Uhuru, they're not done by Ruto, the fact is they're not done. Now, from that speech, the other thing I see, Gachagua could be irritated by that unity plan that fell by the roadside. There was a Mount Kenya unity plan of 31st December. Yeah, I think it was as until 31st December. then by then everyone should have crossed over to Kenya Kwanza, rather to UDA, and those leaders in Jubilee must leave their spaces and go join UDA. But that is not coming through well, and Jubilee have remained steadfast. In fact, the person who was talking about the dossier the other day is the current Jubilee SG, Jeremiah Kioni. And while some of the leaders, like I think Mujiru Wambugu was in Kieleweke and he was the head of the Kieleweke faction, and he seems not to be embracing the conversation about joining UDA, and bado anasimama hapo in the middle. So that thing a little bit failed. And what Ricky G is trying to say here is that those who worked with Uhuru Kenyatta, I think the Jubilee wing, that are still in Mount Kenya and have not joined UDA, should not talk or not say about what's going on, because he was being blamed that he seems to be just praising Ruto and saying a lot of things, akijipanga hapa kwamba ataenda afanye homecoming, and you know that homecoming was really criticized on that homecoming to talk about coffee and tea and these things, while in real sense it should be about development. And he's fighting criticism that he may not be lobbying more for the region. Those are things, and that's why saying Rais wale watu wazimio wanakuambia, it's because he's getting those criticism and he's trying to fight those criticism. But let me tell you something. Kenya Kwanza are getting pressure from the public, and the pressure from the public is putting them in a crisis. But people want quick fixes. People want solutions, and those solutions are not forthcoming. I can tell you, the president, his deputy, receives briefs, national intelligence briefs on everything going on in this country. They are so much abreast of any other development here, and I think they are getting the feedback that Kenyans are not, things are not good. And that is why they're going to public to fight some of these narratives that are now coming up. That, you know, there hatuna pesa, tulipata hii. I will tell you that the biggest scam that may one day be told by economists later is this narrative that we took over a dilapidated economy. That thing, according to me, to some extent, it doesn't hold the waters. We took over dilapidated economy, lakini pesa tunalipa masalari zenye hakuna mtu wa government amekosa salary. Ujesikia ati polisi hajapata pesa, mwalimu hajapata pesa, MP hajapata pesa. We are creating commissions left, right and center and traveling like I don't know what. But here we are so much busy telling us, oh, hatuna pesa, dilapidated economy, and you are spending a lot of money on Sundays, on prayer rallies, but on the other side, hakuna pesa. That story will one day be told. I have a feeling that maybe it's normally being misrepresented or it's a bit tweaked for political narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my end. Let's meet tomorrow. I have a very interesting analysis. Next is on the numbers. And you know, when you speak numbers, I'm normally very interesting analysis. So make sure you subscribe to our channel.